Modigliani, Another Portrait, written by Seungyong Chang, narrated by Michelle. Table of Contents. Chapter 1. Born Under a Different Star. Chapter 2, The Prince of Florence. Chapter 3, Parisian Arrival. Chapter 4, The Man Who Didn't Cough. Chapter 5, Wine in Moderation. Chapter 6, The Books That Shaped Me. Chapter 7, Without Jean. Chapter 8, The Mask of Picasso. Chapter 9, The Prince of Florence Revisited. Chapter 10, The Womanizer's Shadow. Chapter 11, The Final Canvas. Epilogue, Shadows and Light. Preface. As of this writing, I have published 33 books. A fair number, when I take a step back and reflect. Most of my work, as readers may know, centers around the cultural arts, music, art, and film. Within this broad spectrum, one figure has continually drawn me back, time and again, the Italian artist, Amedeo Modigliani. There is a simple reason for this repetition. Among all the artists I have studied and written about, Modigliani is the one I love most. His work, his life, and the tragic poetry that surrounds him, continue to fascinate and move me, on a deeply personal level. Though I am a writer, I am not a novelist. My books are typically grounded in objective fact and historical research. Of all the volumes I have written, only one has taken the shape of a novel. That earlier book, Modigliani, was based on Modigliani's real life, and told through the lens of the many names he was called, from Dido, in his native Livorno, to the more familiar Modi, in Paris. That novel remained closely tied to the known events of his biography. This new work, Modigliani, Another Portrait, is something very different. It is, in essence, an imagined life, a novel built on the premise of what might have been. What if the hardships that shaped Modigliani's short life had never occurred? What if his family had not gone bankrupt at his birth? What if he had never suffered from tuberculosis, never succumbed to addiction, never lived in poverty? What if he had never met Jean Hebuterne, or perhaps, met someone else entirely? This book dares to ask those counterfactual questions. In doing so, it turns the familiar tragedy inside out, and proposes an alternate path, not necessarily a better one, but a different one. In that sense, it is both an homage and a challenge to the narratives we've come to accept about artists, genius, and fate. I invite readers to read this story not as a historical account, but as a kind of dream. A parallel portrait. A fictional canvas on which the same soul is painted with a different light. Chapter 1. Born Under a Different Star. The sea murmured like a mother whispering to a child, and Amedeo Modigliani entered the world not to the silence of ruin, but to the subtle music of prosperity. The Modigliani household stood on Livorno like a jewel box left open in the sun, its shutters the pale green of old money, its interior lined with polished wood and velvet armchairs, its ceilings adorned with Florentine stencils. Flaminio Modigliani, Amedeo's father, had made timely investments and sidestepped the collapse that crippled so many Tuscan merchants. Instead, he expanded his business, modern steamships bearing salt, coal, and Sicilian citrus to the ports of Marseille and Alexandria. Amedeo was born the youngest of 4 children, but from the first, he was not like the others. His mother, Eugenie Garcin, once described him in a letter. He did not cry like other infants. He simply opened his eyes, as if surprised to be back in the world so soon. In his nursery, gilded picture frames surrounded etchings from Dante's Inferno and Botticelli's Madonna. His mother, a Frenchwoman of Jewish heritage and formidable education, read to him in both languages, Baudelaire in the morning, Petrarch in the evening. The walls of their home were lined not with icons of saints, but with books, philosophy, art, poetry.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?